Hi everyone, my name is Marianne. I am the co-founder and general director of AIONUS, the international summit on responsible AI held on October with the support of the French Ministry for Europe and Foreign Affairs. Today, we have the chance to gather a conversation with Cristina Lunghi, the founder and architect of the Arborus Charter, the first ethical AI charter supported by President Macron and presented as one of the flagships during the AI Action Summit in Paris in February 2025. Hello, Cristina.
Hello, Marianne. Happy to be with you today.
Thank you so much. A couple of months ago, we had the honor of attending the 30th anniversary of Arborus at L'Oréal's global headquarters in Paris. And I have to say, first, it was an honor for us to be there, and the energy in the room was powerful, and the real world impact was just simply moving. It's been quite the journey. Can you take us back to the early days of Arborus and share a few key milestones that shaped your path?
Of course. So Arborus was founded 30 years ago, as you said, with a very, very important vision that equality between women and men is not only a matter of social justice, but above all, a systemic issue. Coming from the business world myself, I believe that companies were the best driver for change at this scale, because equality is also a real factor of performance. So among the key milestones you asked, I would like to highlight 6 key moments. One is the official launch of Arborus at the French National Assembly, which really set the tone of our field methodology: observe and act. Second, our work on the first major equality law, led by the Deputy Catherine Génisson, and its implementation within companies. To make it concrete, I proposed to the French government the creation of a label, equality label, and later, at the European level, we launched a platform, La Jardinerie de l'Égalité, to help small and medium companies to put the law into practice. In 2010, with the support of the European Commission and major international companies such as Orange and L'Oréal, I created the GEES certification, Gender Equality European and International Standard. This is the first international certification in the world on gender and inclusion, and it's much more than a certification. It is a real management tool. It provided a structured methodology to build, monitor, and improve equality, diversity, and inclusion strategy, both at national and international levels. More recently, in 2019, at the United Nations headquarters in New York, I launched the GEES SDGs Trophy to highlight sustainable development projects that were designed and implemented with equality as their foundation. This is to make the SDGs 5 on equality the lever for all the other. Then in 2020, together with Orange, we launched the first international charter for an inclusive AI, and we added a specific AI audit option to the GEES certification, because we quickly realized that artificial intelligence, with a lot of biases as it is today, could actually destroy decades of progress in equality we did. I am a positive person, so I choose to believe that AI can and must become a powerful accelerator for equality. But for that, we need to raise awareness among key actors and take real actions. And finally, I'd like to mention a project that is very close to my heart, launched in 2004 under the patronage of an extraordinary woman, Simone Veil. It's a solidarity initiative that connects women managers, that we call marraines, with young girls from disadvantaged backgrounds. This project, named La Courte Échelle, is to provide these girls from adolescence with a female role model who can support them in their academic and later professional journey, with a strong focus on jobs in the tech.
Thank you so much, Cristina. This is beautiful and very much inspiring. As I was saying before, what really marked our minds that will, stay a very powerful moment was as you mentioned, all of those companies that you invited on stage and that were talking about concrete projects, concrete initiatives that can exist in companies and being supported by worldwide ones. This is very inspiring, and thank you so much for initiating all of this. I want to come back to a specific aspect. Inequality of gender is not something new, but we often explore and observe that AI, unfortunately, is increasing those inequalities through algorithmic biases, creating new forms of invisibility and risk of regressions. In your perspective, can you share for our audience why was it essential for you to build a bridge between gender equality and AI specifically, and why right now this is so essential?
So, even before COVID, we had already realized the importance of AI and the risk of discrimination it could create. But with the pandemic, AI developed incredibly fast and has now become omnipresent in our lives. AI is spreading across all sectors and especially in human resources. It already influences the way we recruit, we evaluate, and promote talent. If this system reproduces the biases of the past, the risk will be to reinforce inequality and even worse, amplifying them. That's why it is urgent to build an inclusive AI, placing diversity and ethics at the very heart of its development. Acting now means avoiding an historic step backward and turning AI into a real driver of equality. It also means making the bold choice to see AI as an accelerator for equality.
Thank you so much. And that's the good example of something that we can actually inverse in terms of trend, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Recent data shows that we are stalling or even backsliding. I want to refer about the proportion of women that are representing senior roles in AI. Numbers are varying as per different reports, but we often observe that they are representing only 14 to 20% of senior roles in AI. For you and in your view, what are the most pressing risks if we don't act now at this pivotal moment?
It's a very good question. Very often, the issue and therefore the solution is framed simply in terms of the number of women in AI. Of course, gender balance is important, and not only in AI, but across all sectors, and especially at every level of governance. But the specialization of social roles creates differentiation between men's and women's role, which makes systemic discrimination. So, in my view, the problem lies further upstream. It is, above all, a matter of culture. What we need is a real change in behaviors. And AI can actually become a tool to drive that change. To make this happen, we need to give AI new behaviors codes, a new way of operating. That said, we must also address the key risk factors, which are the reproduction and amplification of existing biases, gender, racial, social, etc. Second, the invisibility of women and minorities in AI decision-making system, very important. And in the long term, a serious economic and social risk. Company and society that exclude part of their talent pool weaken themselves and deepen inequalities. And in the current geopolitical context, this risk can only be amplified. I believe we are at the point of no return if we do not act. That is why, since 2020, I have fully dedicated myself to this issue, which I consider both crucial and historic.
Thank you so much for this. And again, I don't want to say again, but congratulations on everything you do. On behalf of AINS, it's really an honor for us to collaborate with you. I just want to take a concrete example for our audience just to make sure that we don't fall into abstract concepts. Just to illustrate what you are talking about, and please correct me if I'm wrong. I think we can take the example of healthcare. Let's say that we are building AI models to improve the way we are creating some disease, but that we forget on the database to ensure that it's balanced and that it's representing both men and women. We could fail in the situation, for example, where we have treatments that are not adapted to women. Therefore, it represents half of the population that couldn't be treated efficiently. Just to take an example, I'm taking this one because healthcare is part of the high risk systems in AI, but it could be so many others. To follow up on this topic and the story of Arborus, on a positive note, what companies inspire you today in terms of meaningful action?
So, it's not so much companies that inspire me, but rather some bad practices they had. And the risk for our future, for humanity, for our children, that drives me. But I am very fortunate to work with very innovative companies that uphold strong values. Orange, L'Oréal, the Banque de France, and others are invaluable partners in building this new world. I am also currently working with the University Hub in Milan, in Italy, on a project that could really make a revolution in AI and be a solution for a better world, more equal. But it is secret for the moment, and I will tell you after.
Okay, triggering our curiosity. All right. I want to talk a little bit about the AI on Summit and your involvement. So we are going to invite the executives, senior managers to sign the Arborus Charter for inclusive and trustworthy AI. Can you explain in concrete what does this signature represent and what comes next for companies after signing?
Of course. So, signing the Arborus Charter is a strong symbolic commitment. It is a public statement that the company places inclusion at the very heart of its use of AI. But this is only the first step. After signing, company must truly turn this commitment into concrete actions. The Charter provides a process with 7 key principles, ranging from raising awareness among stakeholders to have more women, to ensuring that AI is inclusive in its design, use, prescription, etc. Second, put in place monitoring tools to measure the impact on their algorithms on equality. And share best practices within the community of signatories in order to advance the entire ecosystem through the Charter Club chaired by former Minister Isabelle Rome. And finally, and it's for me the best, is to go even further. Company can undergo an audit to obtain the GZI label. So in conclusion, Marianne, equality for me, equality and inclusion are long-term battle. And thank you to invite me and to share all our experience. But AI offers us a unique opportunity, the chance to shape a fairer future, as long as we do not repeat the mistake of the past. But let's all make the bold choice to see AI as an accelerator of justice and equality. And I will be very happy to be with you very soon. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you so much. And for our audience, right after the signature of the Arborus Charter, we will invite participants to join us during an immersive workshop dedicated to responsible AI prototyping. In concrete, you'll be spread into teams and you'll have to answer the following briefing. You'll have to identify an AI risk or emerging risk on the AI market and turn it into a competitive edge by leveraging compliance, ethics, and inclusion. Meaning that beyond the symbolic commitment, we also offer participants to explore actual and concrete ways to make AI more inclusive and more trustworthy. And yeah, again, thank you so much, Cristina, for being part of this adventure. You are the iconic voice of this initiative. And I really want to thank you for all of the work that you've been doing for 30 years. Yes, I'm very happy to have the chance to share a bit about your journey with our audience. So thank you very much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.